Hey everyone, welcome to week 74. Today is day 4, Thursday. This is our 4th day on What Should I Paint week. And for today, you guys suggested that I should paint. Let's see how we do.
Okay, let's get started. This is day 4. This is our 4th day in our What Should I Paint week. Your suggestions have been awesome. They couldn't have been more different. On Monday, we painted the Joker. On Tuesday, we painted Thelonious Monk dancing. Yesterday, we painted a Lamassu. Well, my own American interpretation of Lamassu. It was my Jackalopian, Walt Whitman-esque Lamassu, which looked like a Where the Wild Things Are beast. But it was really nice. It was really nice. Yesterday, I think I gave myself a ton of opportunities to just paint on a whim and just make myself smile while I was painting. I think the subject matter itself, the Lamassu being a magical beast, just lend itself perfectly for me, feeling like I was granted the liberty to make the best out of those opportunities. So it's been super, super enjoyable. Now for today, a friend, a fellow artist, he's an incredible, incredible sculptor, Andrew Smenos, suggested the WWF. Now, I think Andrew and I are probably the same age. I think we're contemporary. So with the WWF, I had two options. I could have gone with the World Wildlife Fund, which Dani and I have supported in the past. It's an amazing organization. If you want to lend a hand to people that, take care of those animals that we love, the species that need our help, please do so. Now, I don't know if that's the WWF Andrew was talking about, but when I read WWF, and me being, a kid that grew up in the 80s, my mind immediately went to World Wrestling Federation. It was inevitable. In my history, I shouldn't really be close to the WWF because I only went to study to New York when I was 17, so this was 95. And I think the WWF was still going, at that moment. I'm not really sure. All I know is that there were Saturdays that I was hungover. But I remember just waking up on Saturday mornings and there was wrestling on TV and I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to watch some wrestling. And there were still some of the people that I remembered from, and this is how I actually have a connection with the WWF. We would take summer trips, not every summer, but, kind of every other summer. We would go to the US for a couple of months in the summer. And one of the things that was just incredible for us was to watch TV. Because like I said on Monday, growing up, we had like 2 channels and we would get kind of cool shows, but nothing like the stuff I would see in, American television. So I remember in those trips that as soon as we would get into our hotel room, the first thing we would do was just watch TV. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it was just so magical. It was just something that we weren't used to. So for us, just going grocery shopping and just buying cereal that we had never seen before, and eating candy bars that we weren't able to get back home, and watching television shows it's just amazing. It was part of my growing up. It was part of my youth. A lot of that sense of magic, I think, is what ultimately made me want to be an artist and want to pursue that feeling that I got when I was watching those shows, when I was looking at comic books. If we're going to speak about magic and about believing something that is clearly not true, I remember that my brother and I, and sometimes my father, actually, I think I remember my father watching it with us, but for sure my brother and I would just, sit in front of the TV and watch the WWF. And it was incredible because those summer trips that we took were probably from when I was, 6, 7 years old until I was maybe 13. So I think that that's the coolest time to be a kid. If somebody out there is listening to me and if they remember just walking into a Play World or going into a Toys R Us in the 80s, oh my God, there was nothing like that. Toys R Us is gone, but nothing compared to those stores when I was a kid. Nothing. It was just like stepping into a country that was full of toys. It just felt that enormous and huge. And they had every single toy that I could imagine. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. So for a span of, let's say, 6 years, we would go to the US almost every year. And it was the perfect moment because my imagination was just growing. It was developing. So back to the magic part. I remember watching wrestling for the first time and thinking, this is real. This is 100% real. There was no doubt in my mind. And these guys were like real superheroes. I mean, when I would see them, they were larger than life. Obviously, thanks to steroids. And, a lot of these people were putting literally their life and health on the line for the portrayal of these characters. But I was invested. I can't describe it any other way. Like, I was 100% in. I was, and I know how this sounds, but I was a huge Hulk Hogan fan. I mean, who wasn't? And I know, we shouldn't even speak about Hulk Hogan because he doesn't merit the attention, but I was a huge fan. Couple that with me having like the most vivid memories of Rocky 3 because I loved Rocky. Remember, I was an 80s kid, like 100% 80s kid. So Sylvester Stallone, I loved. Schwarzenegger, I loved. Everything that was 80s, I absolutely adored. And Rocky 3, for me, was an incredible movie. First of all, it had Rocky, so that was a plus. Second, it had Mr. T, and I was a huge A-Team fan, like enormous A-Team fan. And the only reason that I watched the A-Team, I mean, it was a kick-ass show, but the only reason I watched it was Mr. T. I used to wear my mother's like necklaces, like hippie necklaces that she had from the 70s. I used to put them on. I used to be like, that's my Mr. T bling. Like, I wanted to be Mr. T. Like, he was incredible. I loved him, absolutely adored him. So Rocky 3 had Stallone, had Mr. T, and had Hulk Hogan. I mean, what else can you ask of a movie? It was amazing. So I'm mentioning Hogan because when Andrew said WWF, me being a Hogan fan, I remember a time, I think it was a WrestleMania, maybe WrestleMania 3, something like that. I don't know. But I remember a time when he fought Andre the Giant. And that was just bigger than life. I mean, this was just huge. It was like the Super Bowl of wrestling. It was the final of the World Cup. It was just amazing. It was like the two biggest personalities in wrestling, fighting each other. And this is the time when WrestleMania was free. It wasn't like pay-per-view. I think I was struggling to be awake, but I know my brother and my father were watching, and I'm pretty sure my brother was just egging me on. And when I would say, like, oh my God, this is real, I'm sure that my brother was like, of course it's real. It's like 100% real. But I remember during that match that Andre the Giant was just like strangling Hulk Hogan. I think that was one of his moves. He would just, with his enormous hands, he would just squeeze the other wrestler's neck. I mean, make it look like he was squeezing. And they all eventually would just pass out and he would win. But I remember, I have this memory, and I don't even want to look. I know that if I went looking for this video, I could probably find it. But I remember the commentators were saying that Andre the Giant had done something to Hulk's trachea or something, that he had actually injured him in some way. And I mean, when they were saying this, they were like super concerned and super frantic. And I was like, oh my God, he killed him. Andre the Giant just killed Hulk Hogan. And I believed it at that moment. And trust me, this is not like I woke up the next morning and I was like, no, it's all fine, or I forgot about it. No, this has lingered with me for years. It stayed with me. This feeling that I have, and I'm trying to describe it because I can access this feeling. I felt that night that Andre the Giant had killed Hulk Hogan in the ring. I was like, he squeezed his neck. He probably like broke his neck. Or I think that when I close my eyes and I try to access that memory, you know what I thought? I thought that he had squeezed him so hard that his fingers just broke through like the pit of his neck. That's what I thought. I have this memory. I'm sorry that it's a bit gruesome, but I have this memory as a kid thinking, oh my God, he tore through the pit of his neck. And for me, it was real. It was real. I'm pretty sure that days went by and the first thing I thought of when I woke up was that Hulk Hogan had died. And the last thing I thought of when I was going to go to bed was that Hulk Hogan had died. It was that impactful. So again, me being a Hulk Hogan fan, watching this incredible match with Andre the Giant, it's just one of those memories that I'm going to hold on to for the rest of my life, for sure. Like I said, I don't want to watch the video. I don't want to go looking for the video because I'm sure it's going to be super cheesy. And I'm 100% sure that it's not going to be as cool as I remember. I'm going to be able to see all the wires, all the tricks. And I don't want that. I don't want to ruin my memory. I think that memory I have is really amazing. And it speaks about, yes, how stupid and gullible kids are. Me for sure being probably the most gullible of all, but I think that there's something amazing when you choose to believe in those magical things. So I'm going to make the same decision I made with the Dark Crystal. I told myself I'm never going to watch this movie again. When I was a kid, I thought this movie was perfect, and I don't want to watch it again. I don't want to see if it holds up. I don't want to see that dumb, stupid adult that says, oh my God, this was so bad, it doesn't hold up. Ugh, why did I like this when I was a kid? No. Sometimes you just have to hold on to a memory, because a memory is perfect, because you misremember everything. A memory is made up of so many things other than facts that's what makes it incredible. So I'm going to hold on to the idea that I have of that match and how I saw Andre the Giant as being, literally larger than life. And I never thought of him as a villain, which was really weird also. I was super concerned about him killing Hogan, but I never thought of him as like this wrestling heel or this, villain. No, he was Andre the Giant. He was just one of the biggest personalities in wrestling in the world at that moment. And I'm guessing that Princess Bride also helped me kind of humanize Andre the Giant. So I just saw him as this super kind man. I know that there's a documentary on him. I have to watch it. I should have watched it before doing this painting, but to be honest, I didn't want to, because I much rather go with my memories than with all the information, the factual information that this documentary would present, because maybe it deforms the idea that I have of Andre. So I don't know much about his life, to be 100% honest. I don't think, at least I hope not, that he was immersed in like a ton of controversy. But like I said, I'll watch the documentary and report back to you guys to see how that went. So that's what I painted for today. And I wanted to speak about something that happened with this painting. And I'm going to be 100% honest here, because that is at the core of this project. We've been 100% honest with you guys. I've tried to be in every voiceover as honest and forthcoming and open as I can be when I reflect upon the paintings that I'm doing. I loved today's painting. Like, I really, really loved today's painting. And there's nothing weird about today's painting. If I look at the 370-ish paintings that we've done for this project, today's painting is just another painting. It really is. When I was painting it, it felt like another painting. I didn't do anything different. It's the same piece of paper, same water-soluble color pencil that I use for the underdrawing, same paint. I went with the super high chroma primary colors. So I have like a cad lemon yellow, I have that quinacridone magenta, and I have cobalt teal, and obviously titanium white. So there's nothing weird. I'm not doing anything strange. Brushes are the same. But I don't know what happened. I think that memory for me is so vivid. The way I understand Andre the Giant is just so vivid for me. It's so ingrained in my brain, and it's so alive, I feel, that when I saw the opportunity to just paint his body, I was like, I want to do that. I want to paint this barrel of a chest, and I want to paint flesh, because even though he was Andre the Giant and he was this enormous personality, I always understood him as a human being. I know they were playing characters, but I understood him as a human being. So I wanted to paint flesh and bone, and I wanted to paint Andre the Giant's portrait through his chest, through his torso. And I think I painted exactly what I wanted to paint. And it's very weird, because this is the one painting, and I'm pretty sure this is not going to happen with the rest of the paintings that we're going to do until we finish this project the last day of December. I don't think this is going to happen because, like I said, I've done 370-ish paintings, and I haven't felt what I felt with this painting. And I've painted my mother, I've painted Dani, I've painted Samu, I've painted Fer. Those are the closest people that I have in my life. If any painting is going to squeeze my heart, it's going to make my knees buckle, it's going to make my eyes watery, it's going to make me say, oh God, this is special, for sure it has to be the paintings that I do of my son or my daughter or my partner or my mother. That's where my heart is. That's where I feel the most. So it is so strange. It is so very, very strange that this painting did something to me. I don't know how to explain it, but I love it. So what does that mean? Well, it means that this painting is going to be different. And I don't want it to be different. I don't. But I have to be honest with the feeling that I'm feeling. I have to. And I have to share with you guys, again, with honesty, with, my heart in my hand. I have to tell you guys, I just feel this is different. I just feel this one painting is different. Is it better than the other paintings? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't see my paintings as better or worse. I think I've done paintings throughout these almost 2 years that are really good. I think they're objectively good, but I don't care about understanding them as good or as better or worse than other paintings. I really don't. But this one just made me feel different, and it gave me an immediate sense of attachment. So what does that mean? It means something, I don't know, special, I guess. This painting is going to be different than the others. I am going to put it up for sale, but it's going to have a completely different price. And honestly, it doesn't have to sell. It doesn't have to sell. If I can spend some time with this painting, that's going to be awesome. And if it sells for the price that I put it up for, then fine. But I just wanted to accept. And this is something that I'm feeling. So I hope that nobody thinks that I'm betraying like the philosophy of, our project by doing this. No, come on. We've done 74 weeks of videos. We've done over 370 paintings where we've upheld all the values that we intended to respect when we started this project. So we've been nothing but faithful to the ideals that we have for this project. But I don't know, something happened and I did this painting and I love it. I just absolutely love this painting. It sounds terrible, but I think it's my favorite painting of the project. I know the project hasn't ended, and maybe there's a small chance that I do something that I absolutely adore in the coming months. But I don't know. I have a feeling that won't happen. I mean, I'm going to work my butt off to do every single painting that's left. But again, I just feel this one's different. So it is going to be up for sale. Again, there's nothing weird about this painting. It's the same piece of paper, same materials. So it's as simply produced as the rest of the paintings. I'm not painting on a beautiful piece of linen mounted on a board with gorgeous brushes or super expensive pigments. No. This is exactly the same. The exact same size as the paintings that I've worked on for the past couple of months. The exact same painting in terms of formal qualities of the painting as every other painting I've done. But it just grabbed onto my heart. Honestly, that's what happened. And with the price that I'm putting on the painting, I feel that it's going to be tough to sell. So I'm probably going to be able to share some time with the painting. But if somebody sees the painting and if they feel what I felt when I painted it, and they feel a connection to, and they consider paying for the painting, then that's awesome. Probably that person and myself, we share like an amazing sensibility. So having said that, I felt that I had to make it up to you guys and do another painting, just paint Andre again and make it available for you guys. The same price, the same $250 plus shipping that we've done for every single painting during this project. And I painted a portrait of Andre, which I'm super, super happy with also. And that's going to be up for sale in our storefront. So yeah, weird day today. I have to thank Andrew. I don't know if Andrew was hoping that I would paint a panda, and maybe this was a big misunderstanding, but I went with wrestling vintage WWF, and I loved it. So thank you, Andrew, because you made me paint, again, just a regular painting. It's exactly the same as every other painting that I've painted, but it became incredibly special. I can say this with 100% honesty. I love this painting. I really love this painting. I don't know if it's better than the other paintings. I don't know if it's worse. I don't know, and I don't care. I think it's amazing, and I love it. So that's going to be it for today. So we'll see you guys next week. We're going to have a new theme, kind of influenced by a painting that we did during this week. So that's going to be a surprise. We'll see you guys next week. We love you. Thank you. Bye.